thought it was a strong, independent woman.
Oh.
What's BMW bypass?
What is that mean?
No idea.
That it gets a bit tough.
Let's just start this video by saying, does anybody else have a really impatient, impulsive girlfriend? Firstly, we resell one car and I'm like, you know, I guess we could wait and get a right shell, and no, she ends up buying one that's a manual and then we end up selling that and getting this one. The second thing, today she messages me and says, what was it about wheels? I need to find some wheels. Okay. Oh, I bought 2 pairs off of one guy that's anthracite and I've just ordered 2 others that are silver. Annoying. Third thing. Right, babe, we need to wait until we've figured out what's going on with these clocks. I need to see the mileage. Oh, I think we should just send it and put the ignition on anyway. So, we're putting the ignition on now and going to see what happens. We're not turning it over though. Why? Because no. Why? Because I need to check first. Check what? Everything. Check them? No. It's my weekend off. Anyway, right, we need to hook the battery up. He's back here. And Elena's done nothing. Took no contributions to this car, so she can do this bit. Try and get it in there then.
What, the battery hole?
Yeah, make sure it's the right way around as well.
No, it's too heavy.
No, come on. You just lifted it up there, so you can get it in there as well.
This is in the way.
Why is it so dark over here? That's in the way, yeah, you're correct. But guess what? It'll be in the way for me as well.
You've got muscles.
No, I don't.
I'm going to move this out of the way.
I haven't been to the gym for a week because of this pile of shit, girl.
Does it matter which way round?
Yep.
Positive that way.
Yep. This is going to go so bad.
I can't lift it with one hand. Okay, ready, watch this. That's all I can do. Without breaking something.
I thought it was a strong, independent woman.
I can hold these for you while you do it.
Oh, for God's sake. Just take this.
Oh, don't drop the exhaust box.
What do you mean, show off? Oh, for fuck's sake. To be fair, he hasn't cut. What's this on there for? And there's a cut lead there. What will be helpful is if we take the battery monitor off. That. Put that there.
Oh. What was that noise?
All the it's underneath the battery. Oh, I can't connect that yet.
I bet he lost one down here. He definitely did. I like being a cameraman.
Why?
I just do.
Because you're just being a dick.
No.
Definitely are.
You're gonna have so much fun editing this.
I'm sure I will. Where's the...
So guys, he's looking at the CAS watch right now.
You ain't got no... I've unplugged that.
Because he's got to swap them over.
Go in the office
Yeah.
and get a 10-minute.
Wait, is it unlocked? Oh, okay, hang on, let's vlog it. Hey guys, come with me to go in the office. He's gonna be like, stop wasting all my film. I'm gonna put you right here while I get the key. He probably won't show you this because you're not meant to know where the key is. Yeah, I know. That's what I just said. Right. This is a good angle, isn't it? Fuck. Oh, do you not need it anymore?
What's that fucking thing?
Oh.
What's BMW bypass?
Got all the angles. Bypass?
Yeah.
Dunno.
Ask the guy.
supercharger guy.
Huh?
The supercharger guy.
Well, your other one didn't have it.
Have you got a picture I can take?
Pandora BMW bypass.
Two keys here. There's two there, but I don't know where the
Right,
ones.
which ones do we need? There's a
I don't
hazard
know.
still there. Right, let's see which actually unlock the car. Not that one. Oi, oi.
Wait. Do it again.
The state of this. 3 cameras there. But the original kit works on the car. Come on.
Why is my quality so bad?
I just don't want it to start. This is flashing, which is a bad thing.
Yep. Oh my god.
Imagine it cranks. Oh. Transmission faulty.
Brilliant.
That's a good start.
What is that noise?
No idea. 89,000.
Shit, it's done it. What is that?
I don't know. What is that?
Why does it sound like that?
It's just a coolant pump, don't worry about it. Yeah, so that's fucked then. So it's now an 89,000 mile car, not a 50,000 miles. Told you, should have waited. So, where did we get to? I'm on focus. Thank you. Plug the ECU and the CAS module into this M3 from the original M3. Reason for that is so that we didn't have to wipe the supercharger map, and in theory it would have been a plug and play. We used the old keys, used the keys for this car on the door locks, but then the keys to run the car and through the key holder would have been Elena's original keys. However, what I didn't realise is that everything is coded through the ECU. The transmission is linked through there. Everything is basically linked via the VIN. So I plugged in with the auto and it come up with the FRM and the ECU, I can't remember what it was. Obviously it wasn't matching. Which is then put a tamper light on the dash. The mileage is now incorrect. It's just caused a whole load of problems. So it's been a couple of days. I've got somebody who's going to pick the car up and he's going to factory reset everything essentially. He's going to recode it, basically update the whole car so that it all goes back to factory. We are 8 days away from the track day and the car still looks like this. So I need to get all of the panels, I need to get it basically together and running so that it can go, and then I can bring it back here and essentially drive it straight away. So he needs to be able to run it and start it and all of that. So I've got to put it together. So the front end's got to go on, the undershields have got to go on, the exhaust and everything has got to be put back on. So he can start it, run it, make sure he's happy with it. He may also be putting a GTS map on it. It's going to redo the aircon, all of that stuff. So that's where we're at. A minor bump in the road, I'd say, but hopefully won't slow down too much. I want to get into him by Friday. It's Tuesday now, so I've got 3 days to build this car up ready to go. There's going to be stuff that isn't going to be fitted before the track day, before the ring it will. The arch liners, he had wider wings and all of that with vented wings, so that got cut. That's a different story, so they'll stay because you've got to drop the strut and I can't be bothered with that, or I'll put 2 cutouts behind to slide it in. Obviously front balance and all of that's got to go on. The seats, which have been fitted not to my liking at all, still need to be bolted in. The sub's got to go in. The interior I've put back together nearly. I've got to mount the DDC button, back bumper, boot floors all get tidied up. All of the KW stuff's got to be rehooked up, and a set of wheels. The wheels, we've got 2. So far we've got 2 Apexes. Apparently another 2 are turning up Friday. The tyres are turning up tomorrow, which is Wednesday. So I'm going to try and get 2 mounted. Hopefully. The panels are at paint. Apparently the paint match is better. Apparently it's not perfect, but it's better. So I'm not going to find out until tomorrow, I think. So now it is a race against the clock. I thought I was going to have time to spare. I kind of knew it was going to cause problems, but not these types of problems. So tonight I'm going to try and get the front end on, buttoned up, wiring ran, all ready to go. Unfortunately it's going to be tripod shots again, nothing too exciting, so probably turn it to a time lapse, and then I don't know. I'm tired, the car's stressing me out, and what makes it worse is the ring trip. Nathan might be taking the Megane to the ring, which then also means I need to service it, change the front brakes, change the rear pads, and do 2 swivel joints on it. I also did want to run it at the track day, but apparently you can't have 2 cars. You've got to book them separate. Like, you've either got to book them separate or you've got to switch at lunchtime. If I can get running time in that, I'll get running time in that. If I can't, if that goes wrong, then I've got the Meg as a backup. So, busy week. And I don't think I'm ready for it, but hey, let's jump into it and see how far we can get, eh?
Oh. So, this is the point now with the M3 that it gets a bit tough. How do I explain this? We came into a lot of issues, and they were very much unforeseen. Obviously, I knew there was going to be problems. We knew there was definitely going to be problems with it, but it was when it was ready. Yeah, so that last clip was when we thought we were on the home straight, and we honestly thought that was it. We thought the car was getting boxed up and programmed. Not quite. That clip was, so when the bodywork was on, I think that was the Thursday before the track day, and I think the track day was on like the Wednesday or something, I don't know, something like that. No, it wasn't, it was on the Tuesday. The track day was on the Tuesday, we were on the Thursday the previous week, and we had a massive issue. Obviously we had all of the CAS alignment and all that sort of stuff, but we were assured that with the software update, everything would reline and it would be fine. So we were cutting it very fine, and I got the car done as well as I could, and it was finished, ready to be picked up on the Friday. However, one guy, I wouldn't say he let us down, there was a miscommunication. So then we were panicking. We were like, we need to get this car off and programmed. And a message from, Elena had a message from a company saying, we can sort you out, we can do the job. We're invested in the build, we'll get you to that track day. We'll figure out what the issues are, we'll get it all aligned, sound. So Alistair, DCT Transport, DCT, Direct Car Transport, comes and picks up the car for us and takes it over to them. I won't name names because our experience was good until it soured. I'll be honest, it soured a bit. So he come and picked the car up, dropped it off there, and given their dues, they started work straight away. They had it running, but the main problem we faced was there was no comms to the ECU. Plugged the scanner in, we plugged in ISTA and all of that, and it wouldn't pick up the gearbox module, the ABS module, the engine module, nothing. It was dead, essentially. It ran, there was no RPMs, which once we got it back, I figured out that the RPM wasn't registering because it was in transport mode. So for anybody who doesn't know, you lift up the gearbox gator on DCT cars, there's a little white tab, I guess. Put a pencil or a screwdriver in it and just lock it over, and it will free the rear wheels up, obviously take the handbrake off, and it takes it out of drive and puts the gearbox in neutral manually. Transport mode. So as soon as I flicked that off, I got RPMs back once we got it back here. Anyway, it was over there, and there was no comms. So authorised them X amount of hours, I can't remember the details. I'll put some screenshots up. I'll blur everything out because I don't, it might have just been the time frame and all of that sort of stuff. Anyway, they went through the car and couldn't figure it out. Now it initially went there for a software update and Geo, which should have been so straightforward, it hurts. And then obviously we had the wiring issue. And after £700 at a trade rate and however many hours that was, by this point I think we were looking at Sunday or Monday, the car we were no further forwards with. The software update wasn't done and they couldn't figure out what the wiring issue was. They told us they'd done some wiring repairs. There was a fuel relay wire that was cut. There was some other wires that weren't in the right place, and it had been messed about with, as I shown you in that clip. The whole loom underneath the dash realistically needs redoing, and it certainly does now after what I found when I got it back. Anyway, we pulled the plug and we got Alistair to go pick the car up, and we took it to Bath. Tom at Western Garages. This boy, all my days, lifesaver. Honestly, lifesaver. He took the car in, he messaged us, and we took it literally straight there, and straight away we were on it. We were looking at the car, and the first night we ran until 3 AM, just trying to figure out what it was. The first issue we had was we went to plug a breakout box into the OBD with a scope, and the scope readings were flicking in and out. What's going on here? And the OBD just didn't feel right in the socket. Well, one of the OBD pins was backed out and the other one had been crushed. My suspicion is putting multimeter probes down the OBD and crushing them, which shouldn't be being done, realistically. You pay a load of money for an issue not to be fixed, and then we have to fix more issues. So I had to rewire 2 of the pins on the OBD. Again, it should have had a rewire realistically, and we nearly did get to that point. So once we overcame that, we had a look and we checked the termination resistance, and the termination resistance was coming at 40 ohms. We wanted to see 60. So carried out my own wiring checks and found 2 CAN wires, the CAN high and CAN low for this is some time ago now, so I've got to try and remember. The PT CAN lines that are twisted together, so the PT CAN consists of the ABS, the steer angle sensor, well, steer angle sensors on the ABS loop anyway, the gearbox, the engine, and all of that. So if one of those modules goes down, potentially the whole lot is done. So we had to figure out what was going on. Now we had other issues such as clock spring being broken, obviously the ECU's non-matching. Now, what was weird is the car still ran, and we couldn't figure out how the car still ran. So our guessing was that the issue was between the junction box, the JBE, which is under the glove box on the passenger side, and the OBD port. And you could, when we were investigating, you could see their wiring repairs, which was wires twisted together with a little dab of solder on it. Nothing actually, you could pull them apart. I pulled so many of them apart. The fuel relay that was supposed to have been fixed, pulled that apart as well. No heat shrink was used. Nothing was insulated. So we spent a lot of money on something that to me, if it was me, I wouldn't have charged for that personally, because it was just a poor repair and I would not want that against my name. As I said, I'm not naming names because the things they did tell me about other work, I couldn't fault it. So yeah, we sorted that out. We found that we had some odd spikes on the CAN lines, and the car was with Tom for 2 weeks. So we missed the track day. We ended up taking the Meg out instead, and I just chucked the semi-slicks on, changed the pads, sent it. hey, look, it was well of a time. It was a good laugh. It was good fun, despite it not being in an M3 and not getting seat time in the car that we were saying is ring. So, I went over there every day, every evening, trying to figure out what this was. We had a ex-BMW auto electrician look at it, and we just got nowhere with it. And I'll be real, it's probably on us here a little bit that we've got to say that, because we went with the assumption that the simple things were checked. Never assume in diagnostics that somebody else has checked something that you think could be it. Anyway, we came to nothing, and it was a lot going to Bath and back every evening. So we ended up pulling the plug and bringing the car back here. Bear in mind, this was, I want to say, a week and a half before we go for the ring. Maybe a week. I think it was a week actually. So we were like, right, this must be a wiring loom issue. Let's bring the car back, strip the interior, sent Elena off to go and get the loom out of the black shell, and all of the other modules, so that we had all of the matching modules, stick it into the car, and we'll worry about the program and the mileage and all of that stuff later on. So we brought the car back and stripped the interior. Me and Archie went ham on it. We had the seats out, the cage out, the dash out, and the carpet out. We found trackers in it, which in theory we probably should have left in. We had a Pandora in it that was taken out by said company. And then, what else did we find? That was the point there when we had all of that stripped out, ready to change the wiring loom. Just by chance, we were like, right, let's just message the previous guy and see if he's got absolutely any idea, because I'm out of ideas. We almost checked everything. We got the resistance back up to the 60 because 2 wires were chafed. We checked can lines, voltages, we checked everything. Apart from one main thing. So we messaged the previous guy, and he straight away said, under the module underneath the glove box, check the blue plug. Check, there's a red and a black wire, I think it was. Check them. Anyway, this is where another guy comes in, Tom Gerling. I'm sorry if that's not your actual name, I'm sure it is, but I was messaging him back and forth, and he was helping me with wiring diagrams and all this sort of stuff. Honestly, the amount of people that reached out over this build was unreal. The support that we had was just crazy. So I want to thank everyone for that. But Tom messaged me, and I threw him a message and I said, mate, can you check these 2 wires, which are the 2 main can lines that go into the JBE? He said, check they're the right way around, because I didn't have time to check them when you came and picked it up, because you picked it up. The guy had a week to strip the car, and he said it was fine. If he didn't say it was fine, and for us to go at a different date, we would have gone at a different date, but it's done. Anyway, check those 2 wires, and lo and behold, those 2 wires were round the wrong way. The can high was going down the can low, and the can low was going down the can high, which explained the weird spikes that we were getting when we had the Pico on it, and the oscilloscope, for anybody who doesn't know. It would explain why the engine still ran, because it was running within itself rather than coming back out and giving us any feed out to the OBD. And as soon as I swapped those in, put the clip in.
Yes!
We had comms to everything. So we are now, I'll overlay the dates because it was getting close. So we got the car all there, ready to go. The next shout out, Gav Kennett at VDS in Tetbury, I think. He came over and he software updated the M3. And that reset everything. So we had the mileages correct, it had the car's correct mileage on it, everything read, you could use the keys correctly, the CAS was aligned, and all of the serial numbers, the OBD mileages, everything then aligned. And then the car started running. And I cannot describe the feeling. After all of that money, time, effort, to hear that thing run under its own steam, it's going to be hard to top that. The hours, I think I worked out that I have put into the two cars together, I think about 250, 300 hours into building those two cars. Two cars, building one, stripping it back apart, and then building the other. I think it was about 200 to 300 hours was put into that, with all the diagnostics works and everything like that. And it got running. So once it got running, we then had to go through and check the gearbox oil levels, check all the oil levels, and drove it. And this is where Elena's test drive comes in. So drives it out. I'm just like, I took it out, went up and down, and it was fine. It was alright. Had to get everything warm and do the oil levels and all of that sort of stuff after. And she drives it down the yard and plants her foot. Cue the clip. So she nearly bins it. Just after all of that, fresh semi-slicks on a wet path do not mix with a heavy right foot. Anyway, so that's that. So then we wrap the car up, we get it good, we bring it in, find that there is a bit of an oil leak, but I wasn't sure if that was where I had just not tightened the bung up or whether it was residual from changing the oil. So then, MOT time, took it down, got it MOT'd, got it back the nights before leaving for the ring. And yeah, so we finished building the M3 that went to the ring and back with next to no issues at 1 AM the day of leaving for the ring. We left this very unit at 1 AM. Got home, got packed, got ready, loaded the car, 2 AM. We were supposed to go via the ferry because it was an existing ferry that we had. And we then figured out that because you have to be there like 2 hours early or something stupid, we would have had to leave at 4 AM. So we sacked that idea off and ended up taking the tunnel. Anyway, that, I'm sorry there was a lot of talking and I'm sorry we didn't film it, but I'll be honest, that was the hardest car build that I've ever had to do. The most taxing, the most mentally draining, just time, because that car just absorbed me. I'll be real, things like that. I was going home and I was sat just looking at possible faults and looking at the fault codes, reading into it and then looking for other things, and it just, with that deadline, it consumes you, and it honestly did that, which was why there was that elation when it first started up, and I was just like, I've done it, we've done it. And then the only problem with that is that when we went to the ring, as I'm sure you'll see in the clips, I was flat. Just tired because it's just draining. I was spending until 2 AM on the car building it, just trying to get it done because of the deadline. I didn't want to let anyone down, I'll be real. I didn't want to let anyone down with it. So that is the story of how the E92 M3 went bad quickly. Crazy, honestly crazy. But to say that I built that car, it survived, I think it was 1,600 miles or something like that by the time that we'd finished. And realistically didn't skip a beat. I'm pretty happy with it. So that is that for that video. Next video is the ring one. Like, comment, subscribe. Sorry that this was all commentary bit towards the end, and I keep looking at that because I'm looking at the timing and seeing how long I've been rambling for. I've probably missed loads out, just stress. But with the next build, we don't have that stupid deadline. In a minute, the deadline is 5 months. 4 months maybe. We'll see. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, share it. Let's get these numbers back up, ready for the next project, which will drop on the 1st of January. See you in the next one.